travel friends, welcome back to Spotlight on Travel. My name is Kerry and I am a travel agent. Today we're going to talk about transfers. So transfers are the transportation offered to you to get you from the airport in your destination to your hotel or resort or cruise ship and then back to the airport again at the end of your trip. Now there's a couple of different kinds of transfers and we're going to touch on two of them today. So regular transfers typically consist of a larger bus, which would accommodate all sorts of people that have just gotten off your flight and taking them to their hotel or resort. Now with the included transfers that typically come with a vacation package, typically what happens is after you have cleared customs and immigration, collected your baggage, you go out to the big area where all the transfers are waiting for their people and you look for the sign being held by a destination representative that has the name of your tour company on it. You approach that representative, they mark your name off of a list so that they know that you've arrived, and then they guide you to your bus. The great thing about that is that it's included. Typically that's included in the price that you have paid. The only not so great thing is with those transfers is you're with a bunch of strangers, people that you don't know, people outside of your bubble, and you have to wait for everybody to come through before you can leave to start getting to your hotel. And once you're going to your hotel, you typically have to stop along the way to let people off at other resorts, and it can be really time consuming and could be a lengthy process. So what I personally recommend and what I like to do when we travel is I like to book private transfers. So the difference is we all know you can be parched and maybe just the teeniest bit grumpy after flying all day to get to your destination and then standing for an hour or so in line at customs and then potentially also standing waiting to get your bags. Usually we've just about had it up to here by that point. So to walk out into the greeting area and see someone standing with a sign that has your name on it just feels very welcoming. So you approach that person and they take you directly to your private transfer. Now typically the private transfers are in a minivan or an SUV style vehicle, but of course you can pay the big bucks and have it be a limousine or really any type of vehicle that you think is cool. So there's really a lot of different price differences. I usually use a minivan and I really like to pre-order some water or some other beverages and maybe a little snack box because usually I'm hungry by then to be waiting for me on the van. So usually what happens is you go straight to your van and because it's a private transfer, you don't have to wait for any other passengers. The driver will load your luggage on board. You take a seat, they hand you a nice cool towel, which feels magnificent after a long trip. And then you have your beverage, you have your snack, and before you know it, you're at your resort. The great thing is too that if you need to make a stop, say you've forgotten something important at home and you need to stop at a store, maybe for some suntan lotion or to pick up some pain relief because you have a headache. With a private transfer, they'll definitely stop for you. And again, you might leave them a nice gratuity at the end for doing so, but it's just a lot more free-flowing if you have your own transfer. Same comes around when you're going back to the airport at the end. Instead of standing in the lobby with 30 other passengers waiting for your bus to arrive, you've been given a special time that is emailed to you by your transfer company for a private transfer, and you just go to the lobby and ride back to the airport again in private comfort. So I really, truly urge you to look at private transfers next time you're booking a vacation. It's not as much money as you think it is. Typically when I go to Mexico, it only costs me an extra $100 to use the round trip private transfers as opposed to the group transfers that are included in the vacation package. So I really, really like the private transfers instead. There's a lot of bonuses. So that's it for today. We've talked about private transfers and non-private transfers. Hopefully you have a good idea of the differences. And until next time, for Shaw Spotlight, I'm Kerry Berlinquette.